I've been talking about the obvious shortage of food, products being put on the shelves, and of course the only answer they have for us is that we don't have delivery truck drivers. That's the only answer that we have. So I'm going to show you a few things, including what's actually happening at these ports, because this entire thing is being done on purpose. And again, you have to just play a game of connect the dots. This all goes back to the Great Reset, the destruction of the economy. Do they care about starving us? Yes, of course. But do they ultimately care about total control? Yes. The destruction of capitalism, the destruction of the dollar, this stuff is all working together as one. In the end, do they want to see us all perish? Yes, of course. But you have to look at connect the dots, or I should say play connect the dots, because they're doing this so intricately but so stupidly that they expect the American people to eat up every excuse that they come up with. 1 week wear a mask, next week don't. Oh, now we have, oh my goodness, we have an overflow at the ports, but we don't want to drive trucks. Here's proof of truck drivers. Well, we just won't give you answers. We won't come out and stand on a podium and give you answers. We'll just tell you how it's the problem is that people won't take a magic potion. That's all we'll tell you. And then we'll go hide in our caves. When in reality, like I've said a million times, if this republic was real, these people are our employees. That's the irony of it. They're not above any of us. They're supposed to be working for us. That is the point of a republic. They are supposed to be working for us. They're not working for us. They're not even taking accountability for any of it because they're doing it on purpose, and it has to do with destroying the economy. So here is the narrative that they're giving you about the trucks. And before I get to that, I just want you to know that I have a couple things up which are going to tie into this on my website that I put up today, including, of course, parents who are going out against getting their kids out of the schools, which is the best thing that could possibly happen for so many different reasons. Not just because of the mandates in California with the students, but because then they're also taking them out of the institutions, which messes up their plan because they need these kids to be in the institution because that's how they mind control them. And then, of course, the other thing being the National Guard, which I'll get into in a minute. But this is what they want you to think.
The backup at the port is the most visible sign of the nation's supply chain crisis. And once those containers are offloaded, it is now the trucks that pick up the next leg of that chain. But a shortage of truck drivers is, of course, adding to the problem. Some see that as an opportunity.
Yeah, CBS 2's Rachel Kim shows us things are picking up at local trucking schools.
Brian Smith is looking for a career change, and he heard there's now a lot of work in the trucking industry. So he decided to shift gears and get trained for his license.
The reason I'm getting into trucking is because I'm looking into moving out of state. So I wanted more job opportunities and more jobs available to me in another state.
I want you to turn it about 2 feet only.
Brian went to the commercial trucking school in Santa Clarita, where they require a total of 40 hours of behind-the-wheel training. The school is getting several calls a day from interested students and employers.
We have 14 companies calling us for recent graduates. One of those companies, the UPS. I asked one of them, why us? He said, we have some of your students and they're great.
The American Trucking Association said in 2019 it was going to be short at least 1 million drivers in the next few years. Well, that was made worse by the pandemic when many drivers retired early.
Now we're really behind, and it's an industry where we can't just get enough. And we're getting also a lot of women that are coming and signing up with the industry.
Way more people trying to get their driver's license. Our only issue is trying to get them past their driving test with DMV shortage.
GSF Truck Training School in Sylmar has seen a 20% jump in enrollment compared to 2019. Their students go through 12 to 16 weeks of training.
A lot of youngsters are getting into this industry. A lot of people are becoming owner-operators. The amount of money they make, it's a lot.
After 3 years, they can make like at least $80,000 a year. Owner-operator making $120,000 to $180,000 a year.
So far, it's been great. I absolutely love it.
Reporting in Santa Clarita, Rachel Kim, CBS 2 News.
Okay, right. We've had a shortage since before any of this stuff went down. Meanwhile, I'm not saying this, and I know people will be like, he just says what he says whenever it fits his narrative. I've never seen so many trucks on the road ever in my life. Around where I am, if I go visit family, I mean, there are trucks everywhere. Massive, massive trucks on roads you wouldn't expect them on. I'm not even talking about highways. Trucks are everywhere. And all the people who subscribe to me who are truck drivers talk about it and say, there's no problem, there's no problem. And you can look at their TikToks. They post this stuff on their own YouTube channels. Obviously, they don't have, channels, like big channels, because they're not typical YouTubers or doing this stuff. They're truck drivers, which is, totally understandable. But they're posting this stuff because they want people to see, hey, I drive trucks. There's no problem. There's a ton of us. We're all sitting around waiting for people to load the trucks, which shows you that this is on purpose.
See all those trailers right there? Well, see those big green things behind all those trucks? I am in Tacoma, Washington. I have watched those cranes all day and not a single one of them has moved. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 major cranes at this massive port. Not a single one of them has moved today. All these trucks right here, right there, all these trucks out here, all of them are waiting for a load. They are sitting here doing nothing because the ports aren't working. So don't think that it's because of a driver shortage. It's not. These guys need work. The freight's sitting right there. Cranes aren't operating.
So then on top of that, on top of all of the ridiculousness, I have to just point out, see, this is why it's so important for us to communicate with each other, okay? I do these videos, and I write down, I take bullet points sometimes. If I'm going through a video, like a music video, right, there's certain things I gotta remember. I say everything. And sometimes I just rant and talk about this stuff because it's on my head, it's in my mind. But a subscriber, Mark Powlin Jr., I don't know if I pronounced it right. I apologize, Mark, if that's not the right way to pronounce it, but I think we have bigger problems in the world. He just pointed out, why can't the National Guard just come in and drive the trucks? Which is an unbelievable point. Now, I just did a video on my website about the National Guard because the National Guard is popping up everywhere in this country. And I can't put that video here on YouTube because I can't talk about anything with the 1-9er because, well, I'm not allowed to. Why? Well, most of us who have a clue aren't allowed to. For the most part. I'm sure there's some people who slip through the cracks. I get flagged nonstop. I've been harassed for, 6 years now? So it's not a big deal. That's just the way it is. But I did a video about the National Guard popping up in hospitals, popping up in schools. They're not just popping up driving buses now, but one of the things I've talked about on this channel, I did have a video about them driving buses out in Boston or in Mass. They're driving buses. They're training them to drive buses because of shorter bus drivers. Well, the same thing's happening in Seattle now, right? Well, let's think about this. Let's weigh this, the pros and cons, because the person made a great point. Why wouldn't we just have the National Guard load these cargo ships? What's more important? The destruction of the economy, not having enough food on the table, or getting these kids to school on time. Well, to them, there's nothing more important than getting the kids to school because that's where they institutionalize them. They need them in the school. They gotta have them in the school. How else are they going to brainwash them into believing all this nonsense going on? That's how we have half of a world divided, because we have half the world of complete brain-dead zombies who believe we were born out of evolution and rocks and just ridiculous nonsense that they made up. And then even when they bring up science talking about matter happening in the same space and all this stuff, they still don't even get it. They think there's aliens flying. Every agenda that they push, they believe, because they're naive fools and they're prideful, right? They don't realize that, they think, oh, conspiracy nights, living in his grandma's basement. Yeah, I had a full-blown scholarship. Now, was I indoctrinated? No, I just got by. I just realized how to get by and get good grades because that's what I was told to do. Hey, you got to get grades? All right, I get good grades. I'll figure out how to do it. Did I ever believe it? No. Did I think something was wrong? Yeah. Was it the biggest waste ever in my life? Yes. Beyond belief, the biggest waste. So I have these people who try to fight against people like me. They don't even have a full education in this brainwash system, and they still defend it. Meanwhile, I have one above theirs, and I even got paid. I didn't even have to pay for my ride because my grades were so good. And I wasn't indoctrinated at all. I just realized just to memorize it for a day and shoot it right out your rear end. Memorize the crap they want you to write on paper and shoot it out your rear end. And don't suck it in because it doesn't matter because the Bible's what matters most. That's how I felt. I used to get in fights with teachers, get in fights with professors all the time. Risk expulsion because they would preach things that were, and crack jokes about God in class in college and stuff. And, I had to take mandated classes about certain topics and they would push evolution. I'd be like, this is bullcrap. I don't need to be, Anyway, it's a long story and for a different day. But the point is that they defend the system. So these kids, who are getting pushed into the system now, necessarily, their parents are going to pull them out. So it fights against what they're trying to do. Well, things like this with the cargo is another perfect example. We have people literally believing this stuff, and instead of going, well, what's more important? Well, we need them to learn. We got to make sure they're learning. Oh, yeah? You don't want to make sure that people have jobs because you're taking jobs away from people because of a magic potion, and now you're taking away food off the shelves. People should just be going, if the government was run the way that, it's supposed to be run, and this is supposed to be capitalism in a republic, these companies should be wanting to make money, and they should be doing whatever they can to get their products on the shelves. That's just a common brain thought for a common person who has a brain, right? Oh, but the corporations are in on it. They're okay with it. They're getting fed money. They print money. Where do you think this national debt comes from? Me and you? That they make up? I mean, I get it's a mirage, but they aren't at a shortage of money. Talk to occultists, people who used to be in Satanism and stuff. They would just put money in their bank accounts as long as they did their jobs as high priestess and high witches. That's how the world works for them. This matrix works this way for us. And they teach us to use, you got to be a businessman to figure this out. Well, then anybody would be able to say, figure out a way to get the cargo off the boats. Figure out a way to get it on the shelves because we need to eat more than we need to be afraid of a flu. And they don't do that because it's what they want. It's part of the Great Reset. Then go look at these people talking about resetting the economy, these people who were not elected ever or voted upon ever to make decisions for us ever.
Financial services is about safe and efficient payments, facilitating money going from saving into lending and investment, but also facilitate, manage and channel risks.
The world of financial infrastructures has changed tremendously. The embracement of cloud technology, the embracement of artificial intelligence to do even more with the data that we have is already taking place at rapid speed.
The global financial system is undergoing a profound transformation, driven by regulatory change, monetary policy, technological change, and shifts in customer habits and needs. This opens up a set of opportunities and challenges.
The real challenge is not technology as such, it's the change in business models. The regulation cannot keep up with the rapid pace of innovation.
Banks at the same time face an economic environment which is very different than pre-crisis.
We found that the other period, which looks mostly like our current period, is the period around the Great Depression. So it's important to ask oneself, how long are interest rates going to stay low?
Because then you get low interest rates, not just for short maturities, but also for medium and long maturities. It really undermines the business model of banks.
They need to get their costs down. So the banks are automating the back end, which reduces mistakes. They're offering more self-service opportunities to the clients, and at the same time exploring the ability for you to buy online.
Inclusive finance is a must, and innovation will help the customer to access financial services in a different way.
I think we're going to see more fragmented financial service industry in the future, more tech firms going into financial services.
We're seeing new players in everything from payments to wealth advisory to trade finance.
Those that can provide the best service and experience to the ultimate client should be the winners.
The public sector has to think about whether they need to sort of upgrade their offer to society.
But I wonder if we have a clear enough framework for the clients to understand how safe their data is and how safe their wealth is in different environments.
in our Global Financial Council, you have practitioners, regulators, academia, central banks. So it's a think tank that can really work in an unconstrained environment together.
We have further developed these views into a report on the future of the global financial system. This will allow leaders to better navigate a very complex environment.
And they come out and they tell you what needs to be done at the World Economic Forum. Who in the F are these people? Well, we know who they are. They love... Oh, man. I can go for a bagel right now. So, sorry, my brain was... I'm hungry. I was thinking about eating a bagel with cream cheese. And they want to dictate and tell you how we need to survive and we need to destroy this. Well, most people would say a few years ago, even now, things are fine. As far as, being able to survive, make money, they need to destroy all of it. And they tell you that they want to do it. And that's what the word reset means. So for people not to see this, it's unbelievable. And, I talked on my website about this with the schools and stuff. It's not going to stop their plan that parents in California are protesting and not putting their kids in the institutions. Nothing is going to stop their plan. But I guarantee you, it's making them really mad. Because the last thing they ever want is kids not to be in their institutions. That is one of the most important things. Now, getting the thing in them is number one now. But having them institutionalized is right with it. It's like 1A and 1B. Because that's where they can ingrain them in believing in all these other things with the climate and with everything else going on in the world and what's needed and love and all this crap that they're going to preach in the schools. So they've run into a problem, and I talked about it on my website. I won't go into deeper detail here because I don't need to get a strike or anything. And again, I'm on my last legs here before this channel's gone, so make sure you sub to my other channel, which is pinned below. But that is exactly what's occurring. So if you're out there and you're listening to this stuff, the problem is like you show your mom, you show your dad, you show your girlfriend, you show your brother, you show your sister, you show your kids. Nobody wants to hear any of this stuff because they want to believe that they're smarter than everyone else. I'm not sitting here saying I'm smarter than anyone or any of you. The only reason I brought up school and all that stuff is because a lot of the people who go after me, they act like they're educated and more educated. And these are the same people who want to chop off their private parts. Okay? They don't have the slightest clue. But for people out there listening, you just got to set your pride aside and see what they're doing. It's easy to see. Even if you go by their data and their statistics, that they want to destroy this. Nobody's coming out and being accountable for any of this stuff. Meanwhile, no one's talked about what's going on in Afghan, floating still around. There's so many things that they're working into this that they're going to continue to do to destroy this. Then when it comes time to be accountable and talk about it, they don't answer questions. Then they're your elected leaders. And that is just more proof that this is not a democracy. This is not a republic, and it hasn't been one. But soon it's going to be official that it's not one, because they're going to tell you it's better for you, and it's better for you all of us to make the same amount of income, and all of us to have the same amount of spending money, and have the same amount of groceries, and all just to listen to Big Brother and let them control and dictate our lives when these people want us gone. And that's what this is all about. So I just needed to do another video on it. There's just so much going on. And again, I have videos up on the website, put a couple up today. Check it out if you haven't. I appreciate everyone who is over here. If you can't see what's going on, I don't know what to tell you. This isn't like me telling you. I get it with the stuff with, graphene and understanding the stuff with the potion. I get it, and you want to go, oh, it's a stretch. I get it with the stuff with the alien. Well, I don't really get it with the aliens because there's no proof of an alien, but, aliens versus demons, I get it's like a lot to take in. But when it comes to something like this with the ports and the cargo, common sense should just automatically kick in. No matter what age you are. We're talking about businesses trying to make money, and they're just going to let their products sit there and rot. They're not going to figure out a way to get products on the shelves. They're not going to figure out how to get employees there when they're, I'm not even talking about the fact that they're showing people lined up at ports. And you don't think there's something behind that? Really? This is what you go to school for. You're supposed to critically think and be able to figure out, okay, we have a problem. What's the problem? Those stupid questions on the SATs? So-and-so went somewhere, and he only had $7, and he needed 12, and he did this, and he grew up, he climbed a tree, and he figured out how to eat out of a beehive. What? Huh? And, you got to problem solve? Well, this is a real easy problem to solve. That we can't figure this out. And we just go, well, instead, we're just going to have a real low supply of stuff. We're going to increase all the prices on everything. And, we're going to continue to have people lose their jobs. Because they don't want to get the flu, Despite, stories like Colin Powell coming out, where they say, oh my goodness, Colin Powell, this and that. But he got he died from this, but he got the potion. And then people just going, what? And you're mandating this. What? It's insanity. And when the people start using their brains, maybe they'll figure it out. I thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all of you greatly. I hope this video helped. And I'm on a little bit of an overrun today of videos, so that's how it works sometimes. I'm up, I'm down with this stuff and wanting to talk about it and discussing it. I try to do the best that I can. But it's just, we live amongst such stupid people. And they're like, well, I'm educated. And everybody's got a voice because of the internet, and I get it. Well, Cole, you have one. Okay, fair. But most of these people, we're talking about people who want surgery to remove areas on their bodies, and they're openly giving people advice and talking about things like what? Well, and then people are listening? There's not a clear problem? No? Oh, yeah. Great. And why is it that they all seem to fight for a new world order than against a new world order? Oh, because feelings and sensitivity, and Big Brother's going to protect them. No, they're not. You're next. So be ready. Because they're coming for you, too. I thank everybody for being here. Reminder, check out the website again. I have new videos up. And thank you to all Patrons and all of you for your support. God bless you and your families.